Oh, we got to roll force die.
We should do that on camera, though.
Okay.
Or after the intro.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
I was gonna say, since we're gonna be
But first...
Oh, hi.
Oh.
Oh, no! Oh, no! Shit just got real.
Hello and welcome to Edge of the Empire? Force and Destiny? Edge of the Destiny? Force and Empire? Welcome to the clashing and combining of the timelines. It's been a little bit of time coming, but some events have transpired that has taken two different story arcs and brought them to a head together. Or at least soon it will. When last we left one of our people here, I guess we'll start with our two young Force sensitives. Having unwittingly gotten themselves put in more or less prison, put in confinement by a Hutt who seemed to collect Jedi artifacts and has decided to add 2 Jedis to that collection.
Wow.
Not knowing that about you two just yet, but pretty fiercely questioning you, wanting to know where you got an ancient Jedi blade, and you...
From an ancient Jedi?
In an attempt at lying to the kind of chief of security of those Hutts, were apparently not convincing quite enough to convince him not to lock you away and throw away the key, waiting for your truthful response so that they can go and raid wherever they assume you stole this from.
Did you try saying Joe? Joe Mama?
That's a good thing. I think it's the best idea is to insult them. It's going to be like a good amount of time that you're going to be locked away. And during this time, things transpire, stuff happens, and we're going to cut away off of the world of Nar Shaddaa and cut back to a conversation happening in a different Hutt-controlled temple. Less of a tower and more of a temple. Of a different Hutt on the planet of Teth.
A temple to violence.
A temple to bounty hunting and to violence. And sitting at a small kind of cantina table inside of this Hutt's area, a conversation is happening that's just gotten a little bit more interesting as Riden, our Shistavan bounty hunter, is sat across from a figure that he's only seen briefly in passing in a previous job, a Zabrak in a strange hooded cloak, who has just asked you to, once again, for the second time this individual has asked this, break into the tower of Grakkus the Hutt for him.
The short answer is no. The long answer is still no, but I'm going to explain why. The first thing, Grakkus and all of his men already know what I look like and my name. In fact, they have a rather large bounty on my head, which I'm not all that interested in adding to. For the second thing, the way I got in the first time will not work the second time. I guarantee you they'll at least have sensors on the roof, if not anti-air defenses, which was my recommendation to them when I talked to their chief of security and we came to something of an understanding. If I step foot on Nar Shaddaa, I will probably have to fight my way back off. What could possibly be valuable enough to you to send me back into Grakkus' palace?
It's not a what, it's a who. In fact, it's 2 who's.
2 who?
2
From Whoville?
people, 2 young people who mean just about everything to me at this point. And they've been through a lot recently, more now. I don't know the full story of why, but it's very important I get them out of there, and I get them out of there quickly. Word of their capture may spread to other places that it can't get to. These young people's lives are at risk. And I've given some thought to how we might be able to get you on world, though it will require you to trust me.
I trust very few people, partially because some of the people I've chosen to trust in the past have nearly gotten me killed afterwards. I need to know up front what your plan is.
You seem like someone who respects honesty and forthrightness. So allow me to speak honestly and forthrightly. And he kind of like leans back in the chair and looks about to make sure other people aren't watching, and he pulls off his hip and sets in front of him a hilt with a button on it. That's kind of this long curved hilt. It's got kind of bone inlay along it. And he says, I'm sure you've heard legend or tale or smear campaign about the Jedi Order. I am a surviving member of their ranks, and these two young people are what little chance I have of trying to maintain that order going on into the future. This is why they are so important. The Hutt you went after has a collection of items related to my order.
So I noticed.
Which the things I had you steal from him were for these young people. And important in them furthering their training. My plan is to walk into Grakkus's tower as a hero, having returned with the wanted bounty alive at my side. Once inside, the finely augmented heavy blaster rifle I'm carrying could be easily handed off to the person in binds that are not fully sealed, from which point the two of us will have to fight and get our way to these two young Force sensitives. I need someone who's been inside, understands some of what defenses are there, and from what I understand, you are in the market for a set of Mandalorian armor. And as I said, I know someone who we can get that off of. It will have to be as a fight.
Yes.
But not only will we be able to get this off of them, but it will be off of them in a way that Mandalorian smiths will respect and not hate, and they will be willing to custom augment and fit it to work for you. And in the action of going and capturing this, I pledge myself and these two young people's service to ensure that that is done.
Wait a second.
I also can promise you that the hefty bounty I will receive for turning you in will be handed to you at the end of this job, too, so long as we're able to get out of the tower with it.
Well, there's a very real chance that I'll be dead before they pay you my bounty.
If we don't go and save them, this is not just the death of two young people, this is the death of some real hope for this galaxy. I don't know if that means anything to you, but it means an awful lot to me.
Oh, you're one of those people. I've got a guy you should talk to. He's just as crazy as you are.
For legal reasons, we are not a New Hope.
We are.
It's an old hope.
We are a hope. We are a hope resurging.
It's hope we lost between the couch cushions for a while.
Yeah, that's gonna sound great.
That's gonna sound terrible.
And mukbang.
Try to not take a giant pickle bite right into the microphone.
She's sitting right in front of it. She doesn't have much choice.
You're a monster, Frisbee.
Can these...
I don't know, it's pretty good.
Can these two friends of yours fight?
They have been trained to do so by someone more capable than myself, though that training was unfortunately cut short. I know that they can defend themselves.
That's not giving me a lot of hope. Do you have any slicing skills? Do you know how to get through computer locked doors?
I have a good deal of experience with this.
Oh,
Okay.
He has some slicing tools, if you know what I mean.
Well, so in that case, we don't need to track down any explosives. That's just how I've been getting through doors recently.
I can handle doors.
The main security threat's going to be Gamorreans, some other armed guards, potentially bounty hunters, but mostly Gamorreans. And I don't know what those Gamorreans are made of. It's kurtosis or some shit. They're tougher than your average Gamorrean.
I am confident that I can hold my own against them, and judging by the weapon you have on your side, I'm taking that your skill lies primarily at range, and I'd be happy to be up close and personal with the Gamorreans. It should an engagement ensue.
You're so gentle about it.
I wonder if they know.
What are you showing me?
Zadra.
What? What about it?
My notations.
Where does this say?
Right next to it.
I don't see the name. Oh, yes. Yes.
I'm just learning so much about it.
Oh, dude.
It says Zadra, space wizard / door expert.
Oh, I know everything there is to know about doors. They open, they close. Most of them are rectangles.
Some of them are circular. Some of them open and close like a butthole.
You don't want to be in the middle of that butthole when they close. I have it on good authority from a friend of mine who ran afoul of a Mandalorian.
Because obviously losing the second, like the lower half of your torso is not a death sentence in the Star Wars universe.
As long as you're fueled by enough hate, you can survive just about any number of limbs being removed.
That's true. Also, a little bit of lava's not a death threat when you're on fire and lava and you're halfway.
Or falls of an indeterminate length. Sometimes both together.
It would have been much. It would have been much better if they had set the length of the fall. Like,
right.
That would have guaranteed his death.
Right. If you fall off of like a 4-story building, dead. If you fall into the abyss,
you're coming back.
Yeah.
You're gonna
statistically,
you're
coming back. 100%.
Mm-hmm.
Statistically, you make it back out of that.
You guys like our Star Wars mukbang?
Not really.
It's a micro
Poor
pickle.
Will.
Wait a minute.
Show you my micro pickle.
I'm sorry.
Do you plan on landing? Do you plan on landing there, or making a run from Grakkus' palace to wherever we do land?
You see, that's part of where you come in and what your opinion is here. I could easily land my or your ship as mine on the landing pad there. I could do so and then have that be our plan of escape. It's I don't know if that's better or trying to disappear into the city and then fly out is better. I believe I know which space dock they landed in. And I found a ship that I believe to be theirs. I'm confident is theirs. I have a friend that confirmed that for me.
Hey, you want to buy a stolen car? Where did you get this?
No. He says that, and then kind of wheeling around from the back of the chair, you see a little R-series astromech droid. Who, in a... I don't know if you speak droid, if that's been decided or not, but in a somewhat sassy beeping, says something to him. And he turns and he says, I'm going to get him back!
My droid speaks in just normal language.
That's true.
What few words he says.
Die.
Well, 90% of what he says is just Roger, Roger.
Which is all they need to say.
If we can land at the dock on Grakkus' tower, and if you tell them that you're bringing me, they'll almost certainly let you. That's going to be a shorter run. So otherwise, if we can get a speeder on the surface, Skull can be the getaway driver, but it's probably better it's better for the run to be as short as possible, especially because Grakkus runs the whole planet.
Pickle. Wait, a whole pickle.
Do you expect them to be with the rest of Grakkus' collection?
I would expect that they are not. I don't. As far as I know, which this will give you very little confidence, but trust me, it means an awful lot. I have a strong feeling that they are. Their true nature is not known by Grakkus yet, so I believe he is keeping them more as questionable or hostages worth questioning.
Questionable hostages.
As hostages worth questioning, not as parts of his collection. So I am hoping that they are on lower levels in some sort of holding cell instead of in his...
It'd almost be easier if they were in his collection.
Cut to Manus, like, in the...
It's like in Monty Python, and you're like 10 of them.
The guy clapping outside the castle.
Yeah, I don't get peanut butter in this stall anymore.
Yeah, they don't. Your current holding cell has no peanut butter in it.
I'm so upset. And no shrimp to dip it in. No shrimp and peanut butter.
They're just gonna. I'm gonna have Grakkus' hired guns on my ass for so long after this. You're gonna have Grakkus' hired guns on your ass for so long after this.
You know, I've made before, for many, many years, I've made avoiding people who want me dead a expertise of mine.
Yeah, well, you're not doing all that well.
I've got no shortage of people being added to the list wanting that. I assure you, every day. But
yeah, I've noticed.
These two people are worth adding another to that list.
As much as I hate to say it, it should probably be my ship, not yours. They're going to be on the lookout for... I mean, my ship has night shadow coating as well, but the sublight engines are going to be a giveaway.
He's gonna do it.
Fine.
Yay!
You have a terrible plan. You want to go to a terrible place. You want to ruin the rest of my life.
But you get some sweet armor.
Yeah, but if this guy had just told me, I know where you can find some Mandalorian armor, Grakkus has some, I'd be like, man, fuck that, I'll find a different set. And that's essentially what he's doing. He's just making a lot more work for me along the way.
But also tugging on those big softy heartstrings about children locked away that you definitely have as a soft, kind-hearted individual. And not the villain of anyone's story.
Those kids should have been smart enough to not get themselves caught. That's
Hey.
It was him.
Hey, I'm one of those kids.
I was fighting for my life and eating peanut butter and shrimp, okay?
space shrimp.
Vibro peanut butter.
And I was
They're
literally...
not actually.
always
They're not
creamy.
actually. They're not actually shrimp. They're actually. It's just whole Moncal.
I was dipping
It's just
that...
a naked Moncal who's been deep fried in a curved shape.
I've been dipping that straight in that peanut butter and licking windows trying to find my friend. And I got thrown in horny jail.
You did get bonked and thrown in horny jail.
Not the first of your characters that's happened to.
Won't be the last.
Won't be the
Won't be the
last. I'm noticing a pattern here.
Okay. It's a bad idea, but okay. We'll have Skull stay with the ship to help cover our exit. I also don't know if they know about Skull or not. As far as I'm aware, they don't, but it's better to play safe.
Might be better to avoid him coming in with us, at least to begin with, in case
Could always put a
he is
fake
known
restraining
alias.
bolt on him,
That's true.
and then nobody would probably bat an eye until he started batting heads. Which actually isn't a bad idea. Restraining bolts aren't all that expensive. They're in... They might be in...
He says, I have one.
We'll dismantle a restraining bolt and stick to the skull.
Okay.
So...
I've got some actual slicing skills on top of
Thank you, Matt.
aforementioned joking ones.
I assume
I could
that's what you were
probably
referring to
put
as
something
actual slicing skills.
I could probably put something
I
together
was hungry.
from a restraining bolt that would stick to him and not work.
Yeah, okay. I mean, yeah. That way we have an extra gun. And a hell of one.
Okay.
Is this Zabrak guy wearing a blaster?
He's not. Not that you see.
I'll give him my gun belt as well.
Okay.
He won't be able to use my blaster, but
Not very effectively.
So
but I can, just in case.
Okay. And he'll put it on
Mhm.
and then attach his blade to the back and keep the cloak on so that he's got his lightsaber, his curved lightsaber tucked between his butt cheeks. Hopefully his body doesn't get excited and squeeze and activate it and cut his bollocks off.
What's that? That's me belt breakage. No, it's not. You've got a gun in your trousers. What's to stop you from blowing your bollocks off every time you sit down?
He tells you to follow him. I guess, like you said, if you're in, they can. Actually, he said,
He's
"How about
following me, right?
How about we leave my ship here, and we can reconvene here afterwards. Just one less ship to have to worry about getting off world."
It's fine. Hopefully we won't be jumped by bounty hunters as soon as we return. Fortunately, I am not doing great on... I'm going to pick up... I'm going to use 2 stim packs.
Okay.
Because I need to. And I'm going to buy 4 more.
Okay. You can find them at their cost from your good friend. You know who, of course. I do as
Pelka
well.
Gortun.
Polka, is it?
Pelka?
Pelka, that's right.
Pelka
It
Gortun.
was Pelka Gortun, of course.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I appreciate you being willing to do this. I know it's crazy, but it will be worth it.
Flopsy
Yeah, I'll
is
wait
worth
to-
every penny.
I'll
It's
wait to...
But
I'm withholding judgment on that, but...
Well, does the Sunder quality work on doors?
Possibly.
Punching doors off their hinges.
Basically. Sorry,
Um,
just a rules clarification.
I can tell you one thing. Oh no, that's just Pearson last. Never mind. It's gonna be like, I can tell you one thing it doesn't work on. Never mind.
Never mind. That's a secret for later.
And it's not. It doesn't actually affect the center quality. At least the weave doesn't. Anyway. Yeah, I guess we'll load up into my ship.
Okay. A Zabrak. This kind of sounds like
Zabrak is just on a
That's just
B2
one, a
battle
B2
droid.
battle droid and an R3.
Oh right, yeah. There's an R3 droid. here as well.
R3A1
R3
will come along with you guys.
Wait, how did R3 get all the way over there? That's like, I guess we've been in prison for a little bit.
This has been like a week or so that you guys have been in there now, and he said he's confident that he knows where your guys' ship is parked because he's got R3 with him because he went to your ship and R3 was there.
Fair enough.
We'll put the R3 unit in my concealing robes so no one will recognize it.
We probably should keep him secret. He's loaded with keep him hidden. He's loaded with war secrets that aren't relevant anymore. Couple old codes still work every now and then.
Well, I do have regular binders, so I guess we'll just not lock those. I'm not putting my hand in the explosive shackles. I'll put them on other people, but I'm not going to wear them.
Man, they probably took my binders. I stole those
What
off
were
a
you-
cop
I was
fair and
like,
square.
what were you doing with binders?
He got put in them, and then he ran away, and so now he owns binders.
I'd be careful about doing that with any of my sets of binders. You might have some very expensive limb replacements.
It was a lot
Hey,
closer
that could up your brawn.
It was a lot closer to like mall security than it was to like bounty hunters.
The bounty hunter that came after me, he probably would have just killed you with the first shot.
It was a pretty brutal
It was a
first
hell of a
shot.
first shot.
It nearly took your
Luckily,
leg.
nobody landed any shots the rest of the fight.
I think I hit one more time by a blaster pistol
Yeah,
by the guy who was irrelevant.
Yeah.
It was really a 1v1 with one guy trying to matter.
I'm important.
I took him out as a side note in the middle of it.
That's
I have a question about my cell.
Mhm.
Is there any rocks in there?
None of your rocks are in there. Your rocks are still back in the box with your peanut butter. Who knows what happened to your rocks? They're alone. They could be anywhere. So, all loading into the aggressor, you guys fly into Nar Shaddaa. Start flying towards Nar Shaddaa.
Fly into inertia.
First thing, I want to know the Zabrak's name.
Okay, he gives you the name Zadra.
Zadra?
Mm-hmm.
Zadra the Zadric.
Zadra the Zabrak.
Zach the Zap.
Well, I will warn Zadra as soon as we're in the ship to... If we are in my ship and it is powered on, you'd better be buckled into a seat.
You got it.
Motioning to the safety limiter.
The safety limiter shut-off switch?
Yes.
Okay. It's going to be like, not super familiar with the aggressor class, but I've heard some stories.
You might say it's a bit aggressive.
Aggressive. Beat. Aggressive.
I can't believe we're doing this. I'll let him fly in and land.
Okay.
Just for the sake of appearances. Swearing to myself angrily about being back on Nar Shaddaa the whole time.
As you start flying into Nar Shaddaa, he will start flying towards Grakkus the Hutt's tower and hail them over the comms. Will be like,
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
Look, the most American thing ever is John Cena interrupting a WWE match that he's not in to let everybody know that Navy SEALs just shot Bin Laden. That is, and of course it's a live WWE match, so the audience is just like, just on fire.
Yeah.
Like, that is.
They were already on fire, but now they're even more on fire.
It's just insane.
he gets hailed over comms by someone asking his business at the tower, and he says, I have something I think the Hutt's been looking for. A Shistavanen Riden, I believe? And you're clear to land. Turns, looks at you, picks up your blaster rifle, is like, nice.
It's
heavy.
Yeah.
Sheesh. Because yours has a sling, right?
It does.
He puts it over one shoulder, like his right shoulder, just to kind of help bear the weight of it. But we'll start walking and be like, oh.
He's more likely to use this as a club than anything else.
R3, stay on this ship and be ready to boost the engines when you see us running.
Let's go. Alright, let's go. Stay behind the Zabrak. You know what to do.
Roger, roger. In front of the Zabrak, or behind the behind the Zabrak, in front of you,
The
and then he
Zabrak-
smacks your back.
Yeah, the Zabrak is just constantly like having to lead around Skull to try and talk.
But yeah, behind the Zabrak, in front of you, roger, roger.
Uh-oh.
And as the drop door of your ship descends, walking down, you can see a couple of things.
Is one of them a gank?
One of them is a gank, and two of them are Gamorreans.
Despite all the loot, is it a gank in a suit?
Despite all of his loot, this is a gank in a suit.
Mm-hmm.
Ahead of you, you see a somewhat not really familiar face. I don't know if you ever saw him, but you've heard him or talked to him a couple times. You see Vackrel, Grakkus' chief of
That's
security.
the name. I was gonna be snide about how we've talked a couple times, but I still can't remember his name. But
Vackrel.
yeah.
He is flanked by what looks like two Gamorreans that seem particularly thick. Like they're a cut above the average Gamorrean's oinky jib, and you can also see a number dotted around of his classic security force.
his a security force. I'm not all that worried about.
They're not as scary as
That guy
those
went down like a
Gamorreans.
punk. The Gamorreans.
And
Those
Vackrel
are armed
looks
guys.
at you all as you approach, and he just goes, I didn't expect you to come back to us. I thought you were going to stay out of trouble.
I've got a bad habit of getting in trouble.
I'll say. Well, as we've spoke before, I understand the position you're coming from, but Grakkus will not, and I don't pity you, or I don't envy you for what's about to happen. Follow me. Your reward is inside, Mr. Arctic. Arctic, right this way.
Do we want to roll our destiny points?
Now is a great time.
That was an excellent time.
All three of you roll a force die for me.
That's kind of the fun. There's a fun, weird game mechanic thing that's just happened here where
Ready?
we've like because
Two
because
light side.
Of course.
if you would
Flopsy.
like to say the force is conspiring to begin to bring characters together, we are now rolling more destiny points, which is interesting. One dark side.
One dark side.
We're giving Erickson a lot of fuel there.
And just for the sake of having fun, why not me add some too? Two light sides, you're welcome.
Yay.
Nice. We'll flip all four of those in the next 4 minutes.
And then I'll flip all six at once.
No!
For Grakkus' elbow from the top floor of the tower.
It will just be 6 reds. Well, let's see if my 2 yellows and 1 green can beat these 6 reds.
6 red.
But then what could happen there is like success with a triumph. And 6 despairs. Which, according to the rule system, all of those things need to be handled separately.
And entering in to a part of the building you have not been to before. Entering into this, I might actually be able to. Not that this is relevant for anyone else, but for me,
Yeah, because the landing pad isn't on the top floor.
it
right?
is not. It's pretty close to the bottom. It's kind of that main level.
Oh, the kind of
The casino level.
yeah.
And entering into here, you can see it enters into what's clearly like kind of a shipping and receiving cargo area, as well as kind of like a check-in point for people. But they kind of go around that and down, kind of through a door. You can see off to the right what looks like a fairly large grand hallway that goes towards probably like the front entrance of the place. But there's a staircase descending down that enters into a kind of throne room, cantina, bar with like what looks like a fighting ground circle up in the middle of it. And you can see there's a number of jazz music stops. There's a number of people sitting around that kind of like pause and like
Oh, something
as
important.
you walking in, and they kind of there's an obvious note of what's happening here, like somebody's coming in with a bounty, and you can see sitting on a large raised dais, on a kind of raised dais, what is clearly a fat, ugly Hutt.
Nice.
And you can see that he wears a necklace. He's wearing a necklace that has like cut off chunks of lightsaber as like medallions along it.
Stylish.
Expensive.
You know, I'll admit. Like, I'm snapping it by, it's pointing to the gank because I've literally already forgotten his name.
Vackrel.
He's kind of, I'll admit, Vackrel, he's kind of uglier than I expected.
I wouldn't say, it's not gonna hurt you. Let's go meet them. And Grakkus kind of turns to Zadra, the Zabrak. Why did I do this to myself? Zadra, the Zabrak, and
See, but now what's his fake name?
Arctic.
There you
Should write about that. And he says, "You have," and he actually speaks in like the common Outer common tongue. He doesn't speak in Hutt for this conversation. He says, "You have brought me a very valuable prize, and you will be paid handsomely. This one I will make suffer for robbing me. But first, where are my Kyber crystals?"
Damned if I know. Did you ask the syndicate?
"That matter is ongoing."
Wow,
Hey,
hey,
Brody.
they're giving you that much trouble. They had a bad habit of punching above their weight class.
"And they will learn their lesson soon enough for trifling with Grakkus. As will you." "You," and he points to Xander again, "come forth, so you might receive your gift."
Oh,
It keeps.
he's
Shoots himself. Yeah. Just starts going to town with a light stick.
And he kind of snaps his big slimy fingers, and you can see a Gamorrean walk over with what's clearly like a large kind of like locked vibro chest of credits probably, and sets it down in front of him.
The worst part is the vibro key.
And he sets it. They set it down, kind of on the edge of this little dais thing in front of him. And he comes forth and he bows deep and said, "Always a pleasure to do business for someone so not worth thinking of it." And he turns and he throws the blaster up in the air towards you.
Oh wow!
Reaches back and draws out, and a yellow beam comes out of the handle in his hand. And he's going loud.
This was not a stealth mission.
I was expecting maybe we'd like be in the hallway going to the holding cells, and then it would be like, and quick, get him, and then we'd kill these other two guards or whatever. I was not expecting in like the room to just be like and lightsaber.
Well,
Maniac.
Zadra's just a flair for the dramatic.
Every time I'm like, every time I agree to something, to like work with somebody or start thinking somebody's okay, they just go and do something stupid.
Nothing's even happened yet, and Will's already bitching.
We haven't even rolled a single dice.
Oh, yeah.
I would like you to probably roll me a cool. I think vigilance will only be from Zadra because he's kicking this whole debacle off.
That is too bad because vigilance is definitely my better.
Damn, he's good. He is.
Don't forget to roll for skull.
Jesus Christ! Zadra's going first. Unless you can
3 triumphs.
no triumphs. 6 successes and 2 advantage. He is very vigilant.
3 advantages.
Hey.
3 advantages.
So I'm going last.
A cool from your robot that is very cool, but is not very cool. 1 advantage. Grakkus.
So you're going second.
Second.
So far.
Your 2 advantages?
3.
3. Okay. All right. So, first things first. Zadra draws this blade and is immediately going to go for one of the Gamorreans that are on the side beside him here, and we'll make his lightsaber check, which he's pretty good at.
Would you believe?
He's solid at lightsaber. Against them would be 2. They don't have any.
Guess what? My wedding dress still fits. Mm-hmm. I was super happy about that today. I was like,
You're just wearing it around the house.
no, I wore it for my fashion
It's to
trip.
ignore their
okay.
considerable
so
soak because it's a lightsaber.
Now it's in the garage.
In a bag. In a bag.
In a bag. Laid out in the garage.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
I thought, it was just wearing, cruising around the house, drinking wine, wearing a dress.
Lucky Gamorrean.
I could do that. My
So
mom's like,
he
"You don't
draws
wanna do
this
that."
blade and he just turns and you see this Gamorrean kind of like raise up an arm and it slices the arm off and carves into the side of it. The Gamorrean is like flops over and looks like it's hanging on by but a single thread.
But not dead.
But not dead.
Which reinforces my point about
These Gamorreans are no joke. He hit them with a good hit and they survived just barely. After that, it is going to actually be the Hutt who
Pulls a lever.
Pulls a lever cronk.
And dumps us into a pit with a
Rancor.
with a rancor. Yeah.
who turns and shouts something in Hutt. And
I do speak Hutt
you do speak
because
Hutt.
I've spent a lot of time on our shit.
What he shouts out is, "Fetch my pulse rifle!" And he slithers back away from this guy. After which, your good friend, that you always remember the name of, and
Vackrel.
so do I, Vackrel.
I would write it down, but they may not survive this fight. I don't know.
Mackerel?
He is going to he's going to step back away from you guys as far back as he can, pulling out a blaster pistol, and is going to take a shot at you, which he's okay at. You are going to be, because he steps back, I don't add it to the lightsaber roll. He's going to do that. He doesn't get to aim. He's going against 2. He moves back to medium range. And you have a point of defense.
I do have a point of defense.
I will remember it. And that will be a hit before your soak. It is for 7.
Before soak, it's for 7.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
Has it had any wounds?
Not many.
so he draws blast out and shoots, and it kind of just scuffs across your arm. And from there, it will be you.
Oh, cool. I will aim and auto fire at Vackrel.
Okay.
So if he's at medium,
Medium. Yeah. So it'll be 3 since you're auto firing.
Right. Is he in armor?
Let's take a look here. He does not have any ranks of defense. No. He is in armor, but not with any ranks of defense.
Cool.
He looks like he's in an armored suit.
So if I hit, it triggers auto fire because of
depending on
customization.
unless there's not threat. As long as
as long as there's no threats.
Because your blaster rifle is pretty scary.
So it does not trigger auto fire.
Okay.
But Vackrel is going to take 14.
He will soak 4 and take 10 as this, and it like blasts across him, and he like hunkers down as he gets hit by multiple blasts from this thing and seems quite injured.
Ooh. Oofa doofa.
14. We're over here like ideal 7.
For now, you guys were using ancient swords and your hands.
We're like
From
cavemen.
there, it goes to the Gamorreans, which are both going to move up towards Zadra.
With a squeal, I assume.
They do
Range.
with a squeal. It should be that, and they have to add
So it's
that. One failure from the first.
So, is one of these two Gamorreans the one that's badly injured?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, there's 2, and wow, a failure and a straight nothing. So the 2 Gamorreans come up, and one like goes overhead, and he like quickly steps to the side, and the other like swings the axe, and he dives away. Seems like he has supernatural reflexes.
Oh, yeah, impressive.
It's almost like
He's a Jedi.
It's almost like he's a Jedi.
I would, if I was watching, I would think that guy was pretty nimble. But I'm
busy.
focused on.
You are busy.
I'm busy killing Grakkus.
After him, it will be the security forces who are going to be taking a number of different shots. There's a total of 5 of them that are going to be relevant.
Oh man,
for this
Skull
fight.
went last.
Yeah, Skull got 1 advantage. They got 2. And with that, there will be 2 coming at 2 at Skull, 2 at you, and 1 at Jedi Friend. So they have that. 3, 2, 3. You have a point of defense. So the first 2 coming at you, failure but 2 advantages and a straight nothing. So they'll give the next guy a blue to shoot at Skull. With 2 failure, 2 advantages, give the next guy a blue. 1 success. So one of them will hit Skull for 8, and he will soak 6 and take 2. He is not missing these anymore. That was from a while back. And go to 13.
There you go.
And the last one will take, without a blue, but also additional room, we'll take a shot at Zadra, and we'll hit for 8 as well. Here. Alright. And then that's all of them. Then it is Skull. And Skull will go ahead and take a shot at just one of the security guards. He'll wrist blaster come out, and he will take a shot with his ranged light, which is 1 rank with agility. It's going to be boop boop boop. But and 2 success and a triumph. That is going to be enough to kill him because it's going to be 10. And they have that. Okay, so he blasts up one of these security guards and he falls over dead. And then he's going to kind of step beside you and kind of impose himself and use his maneuver to take the bodyguard action. Take 2 strain, and that'll upgrade all combat checks against you twice. Wow. Over 9 to 10. And
It's almost like
that's
being made
7.
entirely of metal has some kind of defensive bonus.
and being designed to do exactly what he's doing. Then it will go
He's a good friend to have.
Yeah. No kidding.
It will be this.
And I've given him 2 upgrades.
The old mobile cover.
Zadra,
I should get him one of those like personal shield generators. That'd be awesome.
Zadra
Well, yeah, 'cause
is
you can't
going
get
to
testicle
turn
cancer.
around to the uninjured Gamorrean and swoop, like kind of with 2 hands overhead, swipe with this blade, decapitating the Gamorrean and killing him. And then turn about to the other one. From there, it goes to the Hutt, and you can see also on this like security guard's turn, someone runs up and throws this rifle to the Hutt. I'm gonna make him try and catch it. I don't. He doesn't get this for free.
Can we spend a destiny point to upgrade your checks?
Sure.
Flip one of those.
Okay.
To upgrade one of the difficulty dice to a red.
He turns too late, and it kind of smacks him in the head, and it lands in front of him.
Right.
But he looks like an idiot because he failed, but with advantage.
That's all that matters.
And he'll have to use his maneuver to pick up this pulse rifle before he can shoot it.
That's all that matters. Is that he looked like an idiot. That was a whole combat in the last session. It was just like
Idiots.
well, and one a couple sessions ago where it was just like we didn't end up killing anybody. We were just like, shoot the gun out of this guy's head, and just grab this guy by the face and fling him to the side.
He is going to try and shoot you with the pulse rifle.
Okay.
And we'll upgrade both of the difficulty dice doing so to red because of your bodyguard maneuver, and we'll add a black because of your armor, which will be Ooh, so it's gonna hit, but with a despair for you to spend.
Ooh.
That's. It's not in the monster manual.
I give him a rust monster. Aha!
So it will be 9 damage.
Not before soak.
Before soak,
9. Okay. That's not terrible.
But you have a despair to spend.
That does.
As you
that
see
does.
fit.
That does drop me
His
below
gun
half.
explodes.
That might be an option. Let's
I
see
will
here.
fling a chicken at his head.
Well, it's not quite explodes, but the character's ranged weapon immediately runs out of ammunition and may not be used for the remainder of the
He
encounter.
turns, he blasts and hits you, and he pulls it again. He glares at the guy who threw it to him, who like turns and runs away.
What's he gonna do? Shoot him?
Yeah, what are you gonna do?
What you gonna do? Shoot me? Run away.
This motherfucker just tossed him a double barrel shotgun, but there's only one.
One round in one of the barrels. So that's him, which I believe goes to Vakrul next.
Mm-hmm.
And Vakrul, you see, turns and runs out one of the doors, clutching his wounds.
Smart man.
Self-preservation is on Vakrul's mind. I mean, someone's got to be around to inherit this crime empire after
It's
you
true.
kill that.
I think after this showing, Vakru might just be willing to make a deal.
Vakrul senses a power vacuum.
He gets shot, he goes, there's been a change in the wind.
It's blowing me this way, out the door. From there, it goes to you.
Well, I don't have Vakrul to shoot at anymore, so I guess I'll just auto-fire at the Hutt.
Yeah, kill the Hutt.
But I assume the Hutt's not in armor?
You gotta be
The
like
Hutt is
in a
not
bikini
in. Well,
armor.
does he have any rings of
with the chain? You gotta choke him with the chain around his neck.
He does not have any defense.
I was kind of just planning on shooting him. Probably
dang.
a lot.
Probably a lot.
He does not have any ranks of defense. Is he at medium range? Or is he at short range from
He'd be short from you.
Okay, so I can remove one of those purples. I'm again just going to aim and auto-fire. It will... So, I got one advantage.
Okay.
Which means auto-fire triggers twice.
Because you're free.
Which means all 3 hits for 12 damage
Are going to him.
going to him.
So, you do a direct center mass unleash on this Hutt, and it clearly hits and damages him, but it's 12 each time.
Mm-hmm.
He has a soak of 9, so he is going to take a total of 9 wounds from this. So it is considerable, and it looks like something that should kill anything. That's not a big, fat, gross, huge.
Would have killed Vakrul if he had...
Oh yeah, oh yeah, would have.
Hey, everything in this galaxy is predator or prey. Sometimes you're predator, sometimes you're prey. Vakrul started the day predator.
He is
currently prey.
praying at the moment.
It's the way of the world.
From there, Gamorrean is going to try its best.
Is this the wounded Gamorrean? Or
This is the wounded Gamorrean. Whoo! He gets a big hit, but with a ton of threat.
Isn't he missing a hand?
He is. For the sake of this, though, this gentleman will try and parry. Which will be remembering how this stuff works. Okay. So he kind of he turns about and like kind of redirects the vibro axe with his blade, and it seems to kind of clip along his arm. It still hits him, but it doesn't seem to hit for as much as he parries some of it. And from there, Skull's last. It's the security guards, one of which is dead. So we will have 1 at you, 2 at Skull, 1 other guy. Those guys are that. You are there. You have defense. I upgrade these. Miss.
Fire or miss.
With a threat, if you want to spend it.
I don't think
Take a strain.
No, what I'll probably do is actually give...
I think that's kind of the only thing you can really do.
Yeah, they're not taking cover, so it doesn't really matter.
It seems like nothing besides Skull does get hit one more time. soaks a good amount of it, but he does take some more damage. The one at Zadra misses, and then there's 2 at Skull, 1 hits, 1 misses. From there, it is Skull, and Skull is going to step forward to the injured Gamorrean, and is going to use his integrated brass knuckles and punch him.
Rock'em sock'em robot.
I don't know if it counts as integrated brass knuckles if his hands are just made of metal.
That's how I flavor what just happened. 4 successes will be 9.
I just imagine
they don't have enough. No. So this one-armed Gamorrean kind of swings this and it gets kind of deflected, and it turns, and Skull just comes up and punches him and just snaps his head, and he falls over dead. From there, it's back to this top. Zadra is going to step forward, slashing at the Hutt, because that seems like a reasonable thing to do. Sorry, you guys are kind of watching this happen.
No, it's okay. You're breaking us out of the situation I had no way of getting us out of, so it all works out.
He does this. He does this because he gets extra stuff because it's a fiend.
Are they close enough to hear blaster fire and?
You do
sounds of
hear.
chaos?
You are close enough to hear a considerable amount of this stuff going on.
Yay!
Yeah.
Get him.
Whoever you
That's
are,
gonna
get him.
be-
Unless
he
it's
gets to
Inquisitors
ignore
coming
their
to bust you out and kill Grakkus along the way. In which case, don't get him.
So he jumps forward and just buries this blade into center mass and pulls it out, and Grakkus kind of grabs at the center of him and is kind of stumbling back. He seems to be still alive after a considerable hit, but is
I've read
far off.
I've read Hutt stats before.
And this is not
They're
basic Hutt stats either. This dude has taken 3 heavy blaster rounds and a direct stab from a lightsaber and is looking bad off. And I think it'll be it's Grakkus' turn after that.
Mm-hmm.
He's a big boy. He could try a punch. He does have a considerable brawn. So
Would you like to get into a punching match with my droid?
he might win. Well, not at this point. I was about to say he might win just based off of
HP.
like HP pools because he has so much brawn. But he's going to punch at Zadra, and he does hit. And you see, he swings this big arm and smacks
He can
into
do that
Zadra and
area.
kind of bumps him off.
If you want.
He can, and he will probably not here, just
Fair.
because he doesn't want to suffer the strain at the moment.
He's
okay.
okay. Your character.
He's okay. He gets hit and it kind of knocks him up off his feet and back. And from there, it will be someone else who's not in the room anymore. Go to you.
He continues to move in whatever direction he was moving before.
Saying, sweet Jesus, thank God.
I'm just going to make the same check that I did last time, and
Aiming at the Hutt.
aim auto fire at the Hutt.
Okay.
Just 1 success, which means auto fire will only trigger once.
Okay.
So he will take 12 again,
Twice. 12 twice.
for a soak of 9. So he'll take a total of 6.
Which is enough to finish off
And
before he had left.
Just blasting on
This is 2 rounds that you just sat there holding, blasting into him, and Zed just stabbed him, and he's "Rrr," and smacked him, and then he kept blasting, and then slumps over dead.
It smells terrible.
It is awful. He immediately evacuates his bowels, as all Hutts do upon death.
Well, it's also just burning hot.
Burning Hutt. A hunka burning Hutt.
I fell into a burning ring of hot.
Down. It was disgusting. It was terrible.
Why am I here?
This Hutt slumps over dead, and with that, there's going to be a pause in initiative here. As you can see, everyone who was just kind of guests and patrons here have, ducked back behind tables and stuff.
If not,
and,
just fled.
The security guards seem to be, noticing he's dead and, pause a moment.
Get out of here!
They scatter. But go ahead and roll me a coercion. Before we see if they scatter. An easy coercion.
Dang, if it's easy, I can't lower the difficulty by 1.
I'll let you, not in the future, but if you want to let you use a strain to turn it to a blue. You want to just really downgrade it.
I
don't think it'll be necessary.
Just downgrade it from a purple to a black.
To a black, I mean, yeah. No.
That would be...
To a blue. To a boost.
To a boost then.
That's certainly a downgrade.
Just don't roll nothing on all of your dice.
Yeah, I don't have much strain, but I'm going to do that.
Why not? I think
Look,
it's funny.
Not long ago, I was fighting that Chiss Thief's private security. So I've already taken a bit of a meeting today, and then we had to go and do this shit. What a day I've had. That is... The black really didn't show up there. That is 2 success, 2 advantages.
They run and scatter.
Scatter.
Does my cell have like a window or anything?
It does not. No windows.
Are we in
They-
the
Can't
same?
like poke up over there.
You're not in the same cell.
No.
You guys, over this time, have they've occasionally come in and questioned you, but you've always been found wanting in your answers. Because it's Vacral, it's always Vacral who questions you, and he always seems to be Ray Charles to the bullshit. Like, he seems to be able to tell when someone's lying really, really well. And so, whenever you're like, well, I mean, we don't really... It's like, he's like, I don't believe that you have nothing else you can tell me. And with that, Zadra's going to kind of like look about and just kind of like focus for a second and be like, I think I know what direction to move.
This is your show. I mean, I'll follow you around until we get lost. But...
And he's going to go up to a door which has been sealed behind someone who ran away.
I'm taking my gun belt back from him.
Okay, yeah, I'll
Sorry,
give him
my
toss
boss.
it to you. And he
He wants to go after Vacral, but I also think Vacral will probably be amenable to a deal after this. So,
and he's like going to go over to a door that's been sealed. He's going to shrug and he's going to extend the blade again, and then you're going to hear over the like comm system basically a familiar voice of Vacral being like, I think we should come to some sort of agreement here. What do you want? Why did you come back?
well, first off, Vacral, without question, are lifting the bounty.
I think that could be arranged.
Second off, your security team is not going to interfere with us the rest of the time we're here, and we'll leave you alone in return.
I think that sounds reasonable.
Good enough. Now open the door.
Why are you here? We don't need to tell you shit.
He's going to maneuver. It's just through a couple of hallways. It's on this same floor, and he walks up to what's 2 doors kind of set into a wall and goes up to them.
Nobody knows the trouble.
Both of you roll me d6.
But these, oh, here.
Yeah, I want to know who's
2.
Whoever's higher gets to be saved first.
6.
Of course.
Of course,
The stronger force of light is what he feels. And so he goes and the door opens, and you see, standing in the doorway, your good buddy, Zadra. It's like, getting you out of here, kid. Where's Manus?
I just go up and start crying.
So you hear him say that, and you describe what you see, run up and give this Zabrak a hug. What he sees.
You see a giant, fluffy polar bear looking person. I'm huge. I am 6'5", white hair, blue eyes, and I'm 7 years old. And
You wouldn't guess it by looking at this.
Thought you said we were rescuing children.
I think she's like 7, 8 years old. In their species, this is a small one.
I'm a Gregorian.
Flopsy, good to see ya.
Good to see you too. I just started crying. I'm like, we were.
I'm so sorry about Master Dagunji. I wish I was there.
And now I'm crying even more. I'm like,
You're defaulting a little bit to the Pelka Gortoon.
It's because when he squeezes the Gortoon out of him.
I'm gonna let you go. And it's just like, so
He's going to turn to the other door and open it, and you see standing in the doorway Zadra.
Zadra!
Let's get out of here, kid.
Did you already, I hear you cry. Flopsy!
And you see, standing in the hallway, describe yourself. Actually, first, describe who he sees run out and hug this big furry creature.
Yeah, Manus is he's an Umbran, so he's like very pale.
Human, but like bald and
Yeah,
pale.
human. Yeah, he does have black hair,
Okay.
but they can.
They can.
Yes, yeah. Black hair. He's like very like thin. Like he's just like a thin, gangly 16-year-old. But he's like super pale because he's not human.
So like a lot of 16-year-olds.
Yeah, exactly. It probably doesn't help.
Has that joke
he's-
been made already?
I don't know if it has, but it's appropriate.
It's appropriate. He's he looks a little shifty.
Like 16-year-olds.
He looks like
A
a
shifty
shifty punk 16-year-old.
You're just describing all of us as 16.
You basically
You're
are
not
the
wrong.
kid in front of
You're
the
not wrong.
fireworks stand where he's like, this kid's sketchy.
This kid's sketchy.
Wouldn't you like to know, weather boy? And now describe what they see.
You would see two people. Well, a person and a droid. But Skull's good people.
I can describe Skull if you'd like to give like specifics. But you do you first.
Riden is shorter than you, but not by much. I'm essentially just a werewolf cosplaying as a bounty hunter from Star Wars. Since I'm Shistavanan. Dark brown and black fur, gold eyes. I probably look like a bounty hunter, scarred up, armed to the teeth. And probably more notable.
Standing next to him is a B2 battle droid. The like kind of broad with the face in the front battle droid. But it's what I can only describe as a gangster B2 battle droid. It's a B2 battle droid that's been heavily customized. You can see like improved armor and all sorts of like weird stuff on its gauntlets and stuff like that, or its hands and stuff like that. And he is covered in basically graffiti that looks like tattoos all over him. So he's got like a Mandalorian mythosaur skull on his face, a credit symbol on his right forearm, a strange marking that you recognize as a what looks like something similar to the Jedi Order symbol, but with like basically like a line and a cross through it. If you're more historically knowledge,
Is that like a fighter jet kill marker?
that's what that is basically. On his right shoulder, a Trandoshan skull wrapped around Sarlacc tentacles on his left forearm, a Sarlacc on his left shoulder, and both of his hands have high voltage symbols spray painted on them, and then he's got a pure Sabak hand across his abdomen.
Nice.
Which is like the best hand you could have in a game of sex. He's basically a tatted up gangster B2 battle droid.
B2 SC01.
Rad. Zadra, they took my sword and my handcuffs.
You shouldn't need the handcuffs, and I think it's time that we got you something better than the sword.
Yeah. Sorry, Flopsy wasn't using hers anyway, so we've got a spare.
Are we,
Always good to have a spare.
by that, are you implying that we're going to the top floor of this building, or are we just leaving now?
I shouldn't need anything else from here.
Fair enough.
I don't know, there's a lot of cool stuff on the walls and things.
There's some painful history with a lot of that stuff that I'd like to avoid revisiting at this exact moment.
Yeah, no shit. I stay turning your walking back the way you can.
And this Riden.
Thank you, Riden.
Yep.
Thank you.
Let's go get on his ship.
This honestly went a lot better than I expected it was going to. Hutt's dead, bounty's lifted. That's actually all. Just like, you know what?
Turn out alright.
Part of me wants to kick in the front door in the Nebula Syndicate and knock them around just for the hell of it. I feel sort of invincible.
Just go next door. What's up, motherfucker?
On the way out, Skull, B2 SC01, who goes by like...
Skull.
Excuse me, Skull, will walk over to the Hutt's little podium and pick up the box. Walk out with you.
A man with his eye on the prize.
As any good bounty hunting...
Skull,
partner.
damn it. Again, you prove yourself smarter than me.
Roger, Roger.
What a champ.
And the lot of you go outside to Will's aggressor class, or I should say Riden's aggressor class starfighter. If you'd like to Google what that looks like, you can. They're kind of neat looking. It's got that same super cool, super illegal painting on it that Zadra's Scout Jump Master.
Man, our ship didn't have this super cool painting. This is crap.
Well, your ship's pretty new. You don't have a whole lot of time to customize it.
I specifically got it to...
I think we can leave it behind. I don't think we need to go pick it up.
I specifically got the Night Shadow coating in order to float in a nice mid-range where Imperial sensors couldn't pick me up, but I could pick them up in order to raid an Imperial shuttle. So it's,
If you'd like, we could at least
it's
go back
extremely
to that shipyard to sell it.
Fair enough.
Get some credits off of it. If you want to just go back to
yeah, I don't. I think this planet is going to have a pretty hands-off approach to any of us for at least the time being.
I think they'll have their own problems to sort for some time.
Can someone spell power vacuum?
And you all load on to the aggressor.
U or two? I can never remember.
This time it's 2.
Zadra will direct you to the lesser shipyard district and tell you to land in Garo's shipyard.
Yes, son of a bitch. no, thank you. I've got a bone to pick with this asshole.
Oh man, we walked into some history, eh?
And landing in Garo's shipyard, the aggressor lands, and walking out, this drops, and you can see walking in with his 2 sets of arms crossed, looking at the ramp, and sitting next to him, could only be described as a true junkyard dog. One of those those Tusken Raider massive dogs is sitting next to him. He's got both of his arms crossed, and he's like, I'll be a nerf's uncle.
Gar, you son of a bitch, I've got a couple of bones to pick with you. 2 specifically, which are the time that your shoddy craftsmanship damn near got me killed.
Shoddy craftsmanship.
The first was immediately after leaving Nar Shaddaa when the hyperdrive failed, cutting all power to my engines, leaving me stranded in space.
Please continue.
The second time was in a gunfight with an Imperial shuttle when some of your shoddy wiring caused the tractor beam to fail, and they damn near got away, and a bounty almost slipped away right out of my fingers.
Well, in my defense, a tractor beam shouldn't be on a starfighter, and the hyperdrive, I got it off a weak way. What can I say, huh? You know, it was a good deal. I thought it would be
Cheap.
salvageable.
I like the dog.
His name's Carbonite.
I'm gonna go give
He's quite the junkyard dog.
the dog kisses because he helped me work out.
During our walking
Yeah,
training montage.
You did have a sweet training montage.
Yeah.
And going, well, like what you done with the thing.
She's holding together.
You want to buy some scrap? Namely the ship.
He looks at it. I'd take it off your hands. Always looking for a good deal. What do you say? I mean, I got in this market and with the price of. Oh, you're a kid. I don't have to lie to you. I'll give you 60,000 credits for it.
Can I roll a sense? Or a...
Sure.
To see if he's.
Can I roll
Dark
a?
side. I'll go ahead and use it anyway.
Can I roll a streetwise? Just because I know Garo and know like the work that he does and stuff, like just how much he's probably shafting these people.
You get this sense of like you like go inside his head and you hear.
What's difficulty of streetwise?
We'll say we'll call
This
it an
guy.
average. We'll call it an average.
4 success, 2 threats.
You think that Garo will be able to sell this for double what he's asking for it?
I say nothing.
Okay.
Fair enough. You said 60,000?
Mm-hmm.
I'd be like 80,000.
Kid, you're a shrewd negotiator. 62,000 and it's mine.
I'll look at Zadra like, I don't know.
He shrugs, but not my ship.
How much you get it for?
We got
A
it for
lot.
another ship.
It cost a lot.
He says a single tear.
Stamps our ass.
I won't go lower than 75.
I like you, kid. I like you. And for that reason, 68,000 and it's yours. That's mine. Not yours.
You heard him. He's giving me 60,000.
60,000. You fly with it.
And I'll throw in, I don't know, what do you want?
More money.
How about anything from that pile over there? And he points out what's clearly a pile of scrap. Junk.
I'm gonna run over there like, Kyle!
You take it, you bought it.
Flopsy ran over to it.
Fine, I'll take 68.
Alright, 68,000.
What's in the pile?
This
Go ahead and give me a... We'll call it an... It's going to be a hard perception
Alright.
to dig through this.
Oh, because I'm...
Because it's a giant pile of junk. But this is like, you're going to find something no matter what, but it's like how actually worthwhile what you find is.
Of course. So you have cunning.
So, Garo, you like tracking down odd ships.
Alright.
Roll!
I'm looking for a hammerhead Corvette.
2 failures,
But
3 advantage. Sorry.
2 failures, 3 advantage. You find
Oh, no.
what could only be described as the ideal rock. The best rock. The smoothest, squared off, fits just right in your hand rock. It's got little, just slight divots that fit your fingers as they wrap around.
It's not
This
a hand
is,
grenade, is it?
this is the perfect rock. It's more next to the pile than in it, but you think close enough it counts.
Oh.
You may not even have to pay for it. If it's next to the pile.
You can just steal it.
I'm just gonna...
A rock.
I specifically want one of the ones with 4 engines, not 3.
I mean, well, I'll see what I can do. You got 1,000,000 credits lying around to buy something like this? We're talking a Corvette here.
I don't know, Skull. How much was I worth? how much was Grakkus paying for me?
And you can see him holding a box that clearly has been like punched until it opened,
Yeah, of course.
broken. 50,000.
That's something. Don't have 1,000,000 yet, but I'm getting there.
I'll see if I can line up a buyer, and you come by when you got 1,000,000 credits to blow.
Hell, you find one no one will miss, I'll steal it.
Now that might be more doable. You come back when you're bored and see if I got lucky by then.
Give me a call if you happen to track one down.
Can do.
All right.
Shit, I'll just steal it.
I'm gonna walk back and be like, man,
You hurt your
Classic
hand.
brother, yeah.
You try to, but can't because she's too strong.
All right, Zabrak, let's go get my armor.
It's right.
Well, let's heal up first, and then let's go get my armor.
A little bit of downtime might be a good call.
Oh, hell. Narshadas the place for it at the moment.
Garo's like, you can, of course, for a reduced docking fee, stay here. I'm busting your ball. Come on.
You're going to get something else busted if you ask for me to pay.
Look, you can have your old bunk back. Carbonite has been sleeping in it, but he's quite the cuddler.
Yeah, I'll sleep in the ship. In my bunk.
Fair enough, fair enough. You can't sleep in your ship anymore, it's mine.
I didn't think about that. this is what, once again, 16. He's like, shit.
Am I homeless?
I've got 1 bunk to spare. I guess they could always
Yeah,
stay.
you can sleep in
They
the
could-
ship, I don't care.
They could always stay here with Garo, and we could go get pick up Zadra's ship.
It's a decent enough flyaway that you probably don't want to spend the hyperfuel, so you can
We could just
crash
sit
here for a little bit of time.
He doesn't have a buyer tomorrow. we can crash at the ship.
You wake up tomorrow and you're on Coruscant. Somebody
Welcome
else.
to the Coruscant Foreign Legion.
Isn't that just the Empire?
We bought the ship. You were sleeping in it. It belonged to us now. I'd like to head down to the clubhouse.
Okay.
Get a drink.
I think that this might be where we actually will call it for this session.
It's a good place.
I think with these storylines combined, these new friends made, and a future full, just dripping with possibility, this is where we'll call this episode of this Force of the Empire, Age of Destiny?
I think that dripping
Wait,
might be from
age, no.
Carbonite.
Force and Empire?
Something.
Edge of the Destiny? Whatever this is, we'll be back next week with another episode of it. Thank you for watching.
Whatever this
everybody.
is. Tune in next week.
tune in.